Pharrell, great to see you, buddy. Thank you so much for doing this. I really, really appreciate it. A lot of stuff has changed since I last saw you. I had a mustache and you had triplets.
Hey,
Um,
that's true.
how are you doing? How are you holding up?
I'm very grateful, you know,
Yeah,
but it's hard to be complacent with that, you know, to just because you're okay, you know what I mean? Or the people that you know and love are okay. It's like, man, it's tough because people are um, having a very tough time. Um, Families are having a tough time. Companies are having a tough time, if not folding. And also, you know, there's a lot of loss of life, you know,
sure.
and there's a lot of misinformation out there too. So,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, it's tough.
it is tough. I know that you had a Virginia Music Festival, something in the water. You had to postpone that.
Yes, sir.
What's the message behind that, and how'd you get involved with doing that show?
Well, something in the water started because the chief of police wanted to sit down and talk about like some solutions because there were some problems, some alleged problems. You know, kids would
Uh,
come and have their spring break there, and they happened to be HBCU students. So when they told us that there was a problem, like what problem? These are kids that are not on the street. They're like, you know, not necessarily causing problem as much as they're just like trying to celebrate getting ready to take their next exams. And then we found out it wasn't necessarily them. It was just like people that were showing up to take part in the festivities that weren't necessarily the students. I just thought, man, why don't we just have ourselves a community festival that 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 does more than just bring people together to like listen to music, but actually um, charge some of our sponsors to go out and do some of the things just to show that like, man, while these people contribute to your bottom line every quarter, like you care about them too. No, it's crazy. We raised like $14 million directly and another $7 million indirectly that went on to like just show that we could be a beehive, you know, the 757. That's where I'm from, the 757, Virginia Beach.
yeah,
So then when this thing started happening, we decided, well, while we're not going to entertain, we're going to get out there in the thick of it all and like continue to look after the 757, continue to bring people together, continue to try to be catalyst for change. And so we hooked up with the World Central Kitchen, and
who were amazing. I mean, Jose Andres, all that World Central Kitchens, they're amazing.
unbelievable,
Yeah.
unbelievable. I mean, this past month they fed 1.3 million people. So I'm so glad you asked about something in the water because um,
It
we
led to this.
yeah, man, we want to continue to do the same thing. So like we're gonna do it in a huge way in the 757 to try to ensure food for people who are food insecure at the moment. Um, and it's also awesome because we get to like have our local restaurants with amazing, you know, food in the 757. They get to stay afloat. You know, their restaurants are able to stay open and they're able to cook for these people as well.
Yeah.
So I'm particularly excited about that. Where this is starting now.
You were saying earlier about there's some misconceptions about some of the people that's been affected by COVID-19. What did you mean by that?
Well, I just think that like there's this narrative that you know, people who look like me, um, darker or lighter, you know, brown and black folks, that we don't know how to take care of ourselves. You know, we're twice as likely to get asthma and all these other crazy things that's been going around. And it's not that. It's just that the healthcare is disproportionate. Um, and you're seeing the effects of that right now, in the way that this thing is spreading and who's getting the help and how they're getting the help. There's access. You know, there's historical injustices with healthcare with, you know, people of color. And those things systemically contribute to the disproportionate access. But this is definitely affecting people of color in a different kind of way. And I appreciate you asking me this question so that we can use your platform so, you know, we can get it out there. We're human beings, you know.
Yeah.
If we were to be treated like that from the very beginning, we wouldn't have disproportionate problems, but we do.
Yeah. But hopefully we can start that conversation and have it have a happy ending.
Yes, sir.
You know, I always said that you were kind of ahead of the curve, always with fashion and everything, really. But I mean, I want to say you were wearing masks before we were told to wear masks.
Yeah.
That was your thing for a while. And I was like, I thought of you when they started the mask. I go, oh my gosh, Pharrell, once again, he's been doing this forever.
No.
When did you start wearing masks?
You know what? I've been going to Japan for like over 20 years. And when I first got out there, I saw people in masks. I'm like, oh man, what are they covering up for? And that's when Nigo, a very good friend of mine, my business partner, told me, oh, that person is sick. They're trying to protect you from them. Wow. And I was like, whoa, I just didn't even think about it like that, right? That's what the mask is for me. And that is like what putting my hands together and bowing before somebody is all about. Asia taught me that.
While you're at home, everyone keeps saying, are you working on stuff? Are you doing stuff? I find that the day is just packed with homeschooling and, you know, and doing this. I haven't really had that much time to, I guess I'm creating with this, but yeah. Are you having any time to create or make music or anything?
Yes. It's always here. Always working.
Nice.
But more importantly is the work that needs to be done in education, because as we talk about, you know, homeschooling is something you and I know about. There's other families out there and lots more families out there that are, again, disproportionately affected. And right now it's estimated that like 91% of the world's children are going to be out of school. And obviously the most marginalized kids, you know, are going to, you know, in the most poverty stricken areas are the ones that are going to be affected the most. So working with Global Citizens on that front as well.
Yeah. Are you good? You're part of the show on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
I'm co-hosting with Kimmel and Colbert. And I like that, you know, the idea of us all we really are coming together to do whatever we can. And this special, this Saturday, there is no donating money. There's no raising money. They're making money from, they've already made like over 40 million from sponsors and philanthropists. So really all they're asking is for you to can we give back to you guys as a fan, as a viewer? We're going to put a show on for you so that you can just sit back with your family and watch 2 hours of just entertainment. And I think that's a great idea. And I think it's great that you're involved with that. And so I thank you for doing that. And I also thank you for getting involved with World Central Kitchen, WCK. My youngest daughter drew that dinosaur. And my older daughter drew this. If you can give even $1 would be amazing. Anything you can give, it really helps families, helps kids that, like Pharrell was saying, they're out of school. Sometimes they get their food from school.
Yes.
And they don't have school. So now what are they going to do? How do they eat? It's like, oof, they need your help.
Yes, man. We all have to do our part.
Pharrell Williams, everybody. Pharrell, thank you so much. Stay safe, buddy. I miss you. I hope to see you in person real soon.
My brother, love to you, love to the family, and love to the roots.
Thank you, buddy. Love right back.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on and on and on.